Good morning, Marianne. Trust you're doing great this morning. Beautiful Sunday morning here in South Africa. Yeah. So as promised, you told me that you really like South African milk tart. So I thought, I promised you that I will give you the recipe, your grandmother's recipe, to make your own milk tart. And as I went through the recipe books, I thought, I would love to make it with you. I'm not there with you, close to you, so what I'll do is I'll make the recipe. I've written it down, and I'll make a milk tart. Just remember, this is my first milk tart ever, so I'm learning just as much as you. Got the recipe down. I will also post the ingredients for you down below the video when we finish, so that you can at any time watch the video and then in some way make some milk tart with me. Now, before I want to start, I want to tell you a little bit more about the history of milk tart. So we believe that milk tart came to South Africa with the Dutch settlers that arrived in Cape Town in 1652, and they brought milk tart. Well, it wasn't called a milk tart back then. It was a custard tart, and from the Netherlands. They brought it with them, came to South Africa, and at that stage there was not a lot of custard, or custard wasn't easily available in South Africa. So they had to use the ingredients that was readily available and then adopt the milk tart or the tart recipe, original recipe, to make it with the ingredients that you can get in South Africa. Now, they also, over the years, there was a lot of other cultures that came influence. The biggest one was the Cape Malay influence in basically all our food that you can get in Cape Town, and wonderful cuisine. We'll make some of those recipes that came along the ages as we go along, but today we'll focus on the milk tart. So the farmers had a lot of milk available, they had a lot of eggs available, so they played around with milk, egg, flour, and corn flour to make the milk tart that you have today. The other ingredient that was added over the years is cinnamon, that came from the Malays, and that added a beautiful extra taste to it, as well as vanilla essence was also added after the years. So we're going to start today. We're going to make a milk tart. I'll show you the ingredients first that I've already put out. I really recommend that you do this as well, so that you make sure that you have everything is measured, and it's just much easier to make it and to get everything ready. If you miss something, you also have time to go and get it, and then have all your ingredients on the table so you can go from there. So what I'll do now is I'm going to show you how I put out my ingredients. I'll take you through each one of the ingredients, exactly how much there is, how much I put in, and then we'll go to the next phase where I'll make first the pastry dough, and then after the pastry dough I'll make the filling. Okay, so let's go and see how we go and how it comes out. Okay, so furthest away from you is the ingredients for the pastry dough. On your left hand side you have a mixture of 2 cups or 500 grams of cake flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Then next you have 125 grams of custard sugar, and then you've got 1 egg, and then you have your butter. Salted butter, I recommend, that's the best to use, and it's about 125 grams. Then on the left hand side with the bottles and stuff, you've got approximately 1 big teaspoon of butter. You also have an egg. You have a cinnamon stick. Let me just show you, it's not clear here. There's your cinnamon stick, vanilla essence, and then fine cinnamon as well. Next to it, you've got 2 tablespoons of flour, cake flour, 2 tablespoons of maize flour. We call it maizena in South Africa. I'm not sure if you can get it in England, but you know, any maize flour or finely milled maize flour is fine. Then you've got 1/2 cup of sugar, and you've got about 625 milliliter of full cream fresh milk. Now it's very important for this recipe, or I believe it's important, that you use full cream milk and not any other milk. Use the full cream milk. And then closest to you here, they've got my pastry dish or my pie dish that I've already put some butter, buttered it, and that's where the end result will come in. Okay, so that's all your ingredients. So like I said, the ingredients will be at the bottom. So you can print it out or look at it or whatever you want to do, and then just prepare your ingredients before you start mixing it. All right, now let's go over to making the milk tart. All right. Okay, first I'm going to make the pastry dough. So to make the pastry dough, I'm going to take the caster sugar. I'm going to put the caster sugar into my mixing bowl, like that. Okay, let's put it on this side here. And I'm going to take the butter. It was frozen when I cut it, so it broke a little bit, but it should be soft by now. I'm going to put that into with my caster sugar, like that. Then that needs to be mixed until it's fine. So I forgot the fork. I'm going to use just a normal fork to mix my butter with my caster sugar. I'm just going to go press it down. Here we go. All the way. It'll take a little bit of time. All good things takes time. Yeah. Go like that. More creamy and creamy. That's how it looks right now. Let's just go on. Keep on doing that. Okay. If you get it to about looking like that, I hope you can see, it should be fine. Then you take your egg, put your egg with your caster sugar and your butter, and then you go again. Mix it really well. So you see it starts getting very creamy. Okay. When it's about looking like that, it should be fine. Okay. Now, what you take next is you take this is your flour, your baking powder, and your pinch of salt mix. You put that into the mix. Okay. Now, the hard part starts. Just mix it gently with the fork. It starts. You'll have to go using your hands to get it mixed into your flour mix. Okay, let's do that. Okay, just mix it very well. pastry dough. Like that. Press it around. Now we need to let the pastry dough rest for a little while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some cling wrap. We're going to use this cling wrap later as well. And you'll see that cling wrap is actually very helpful in rolling your dough and then putting the dough into the pie dish before you start pressing it into the pie dish. That pastry dough inside. Press it nice tight together. So. Okay, put it like that. Now I'm going to put this into the fridge for approximately 15 minutes, just to let it rest before we put it into the pie dish. Okay, there you go. Nice. So while the pastry dough is resting in the fridge, I'm also going to put my oven on. So the oven will preheat it to 175 degrees Celsius and for our pastry dough to bake. So there's the oven on. Okay, while that's going, we're going to start making the filling for the milk tart. So we'll start by making the filling for the milk tart now, while the pastry dough is resting and our oven is preheating. Now for the pastry dough, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the milk and we're going to put here. Okay, take the milk, we put it in the pot. Okay, like that. Put your milk in your pot. That's 625 milliliters. And then also take your cinnamon stick and put the cinnamon stick into the milk that you're gonna put on the fire. Put it on the fire. Make sure you got to make sure that the oven or when you put it onto the milk onto the oven, that your oven is not too high, otherwise your milk's gonna boil too fast and it will make a big mess normally, or always actually. Right, we're gonna let that go. While we're waiting for that, we're also going to make the mixture which we're going to thicken the filling with. Now for that we have the cake flour, and we have some maizena, we've got an egg, and then vanilla essence as well as sugar. Okay, so let's start with making the rest of the filling. Okay, we're back. I'm going to start making the filling now. To make the filling, it's very easy. You just take all your dry ingredients, put it into your bowl. That's the cake flour as well as the maizena or the corn flour, and then you add your sugar to it. Okay, and to do this, we're going to use a whisk. Okay, when that's mixed first, I recommend, well, it's just a personal preference, I always mix my dry ingredients first. So I'm not sure it makes a difference, but I feel it just evenly distributes everything. Okay, when it's like nice and like this, you add your egg. There. Okay. And just wrap in. You start whisking it. Nice. This mixture is to thicken the milk. It's boiling on the stove, and it will give you that fluffy and creamy texture of the milk tart. I think it would have been easier to use a ladle. Start it like this. Right. This is in. And this is in. Start cleaning our ladle. And then we'll wait for the milk to get ready. And then go to the next step. Okay. So we're going to wait a little bit for the milk to get ready, and then we're going to continue to the next step. So while we're waiting for everything, just want to make a note here. So when your milk's on the stove, do take some time and just whisk it about a little bit. So you want to make sure it doesn't make a layer on the bottom or cooks too fast. This helps, and this helps to get the cinnamon flavor into your filling mixture. Okay. All right. I'm going to wait for this to boil now, to get hot, and then we'll make the filling. Okay, so now our milk has come to a boil, and now we need to prepare the filling mixture. Now this is very important because it's very important that you don't get lumps in your mixture. So what I recommend is take a ladle and take some of the milk, one ladle, pour it into your mixture, and take your whisk and work it into the mix. This will make sure, and just make sure there's no lumps in it, yeah? So this will make sure that you get rid of all the lumps and your filling is creamy and smooth. Mix it in. When it's all the lumps are gone, take another ladle of milk. Put it in your mixture. And repeat. Just mix it very well. You can also use an electric mixer for this. I'm just a little bit lazy because when you use an electric mixer, it takes so much more effort to clean. It's just easier. Okay, there you can see it's really creamy and nice. You put it in. Now, the next thing you're going to put in is you put your vanilla essence into the mix. This is again, the recipe said 1 teaspoon, but we put in a little bit more. I prefer just 1 teaspoon. This gives it a really nice flavor and it changes the taste. Mix that into the mixture. Oh, it smells really nice. Vanilla essence is amazing. Okay, here you go. That's how it looks right now. Okay, now next thing you're going to do is take out the cinnamon sticks that's in the milk. Out. Something interesting I learned as well is that, well, with they say is that you get two types of cinnamon. One is Ceylon cinnamon, which is the one that we use for our milk tart. Now, Ceylon cinnamon is apparently not poisonous. The other one, which is more barky, allegedly, don't know if that's what the folks say, that's not really good for you. So we are using Ceylon cinnamon just to be safe. Let's see. Okay, looks like all of our there is one more piece. There you go. Now we've got rid of all the cinnamon. Yes, that looks good. Right. Have your whisk ready and the mixture that you've made. Start mixing it again. And you pour that into your milk while you're stirring it. Really stir well. Fire. Okay. Now, this is important as well. You need to continuously whisk it to make sure that it gets nice and creamy, and it also don't make any lumps. Okay, your filling mix is ready now. See, it's nice and thick. Now we need to let it cool down before we put it into the pastry paste. Okay, so we're going to let that stand on the side for a while we prepare the pastry base. Oven is ready. Our pastry dough has been resting for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll just go ahead and get all of that ready. Okay. Before I forget, the last thing that you add to your filling is the butter. Cinnamon there. Just take a little bit of butter, add it there. That also gives it a very, very nice and creamy taste and flavor. Stir that into your mix while it's cooling down. Nice. It is still hot, so it will thicken more as it cools down. Okie dokie, that's ready now. Let that cool down, go and prepare the pastry dough. Okay, now we're going to make the pastry dough. Like I said, we put it in a cling wrap, and we're also going to use the cling wrap now to make it easier to take it from the table and put it into the pie dish. Now, just for your information, the dish that I showed you before was a little bit bigger, and I think we don't have exactly enough for the bigger pie dish. So I used a smaller one. Whatever we have extra, it won't get wasted. That I promise you. Way too nice. Okay, take this away. Okay. Now, to start with, I'm just going to press it out a little bit. Make it flatter. Like that. I'm going to use the roller. Much easier to pick up. Put your, I'm going to do it this way. Put your on there. And just put your hand underneath. And quickly turn it over. Much easier. Press it into the sides. Nice. Even all around. Cookies. Press it all around. sides off to make it look nice. We will take a fork, and it's very important that you press holes into the pastry base throughout. Just make sure that when you put it into the oven to bake, that the bottom don't lift up and it makes like a bubble. Okay, so all through the pastry base at the bottom, press holes with the fork. Then be sure there won't be any bubbles in the bake. Don't know if you're supposed to put it inside. I'm just doing it for try and make it ensure that it doesn't make any bubbles. Okay, now I've got it like this, and it's going to go into the oven. I'm going to keep it in the oven until it's for about 15 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius, or until it's golden brown. Here we go. Okay, so our pastry is ready. As you can see, nice and brown from the oven. Now all we need to do is put the filling in the pastry, and then it's going to cool down, stand for a while, and then it's ready to cut and eat. Okay, so take our pastry. You can see it's nice and fluffy. Our filling, sorry. Put the filling in. There you go. Then you take the fine cinnamon, just sprinkle it across the top. Gives it a nice flavor, nice taste, and it makes it look nice. Okay, and it's done. Here you go, my angel. Milk tart. Make it at home, easy to make. Let me know what you think. Try to bake it. Please, if you make it where you are, just take a photo, take a video, whatever you want to do. This one's for you. This one's the first one. Next up, I'm going to try and make puff pastries. So I'll send you the link as soon as it's done. Have an amazing day, my angel. I'll take some photos when your grandmother tries it. Have an amazing day. Hi to everybody. Love you guys a lot. And have an absolutely amazing time.